What was hard to get over was being blamed for something that not only I didn't do, but that happened.
Prince Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor, once the adorable baby that captured the world's hearts, stands at the center of a royal controversy that threatens to rewrite the monarchy's future. After years of speculation and rumors, genetic testing has finally revealed an unthinkable truth. Secret heritage and hidden connections have emerged that cast doubt on centuries of royal history, prompting the young prince to finally cut all ties with a family he never truly felt was his. The revelations have sent shockwaves through Buckingham Palace and beyond, raising questions about royal succession and the future of the British monarchy itself. Archie's early life was anything but conventional. Born on May 6, 2019, as the first son of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, he entered a world of privilege and scrutiny. Unlike his royal cousins, Archie was not given a royal title at birth, with his parents expressing their desire for him to lead a more normal life, away from the constraints of royal protocol. This decision, unusual for a child so close to the line of succession, raised eyebrows among royal watchers, but was generally attributed to Harry and Meghan's progressive approach to parenting. From his earliest days, Archie's appearance captivated public attention. His striking features became the subject of endless speculation as royal enthusiasts and critics alike analyzed every photograph for clues about which family members he most resembled. While some pointed to similarities with Prince Harry's red hair or Meghan's warm complexion, others noted distinctive features that seemed to match neither the Windsor nor Markle family traits. These observations, initially dismissed as harmless speculation, would later take on profound significance in light of genetic discoveries that have shaken the royal family to its core. The Sussex family's dramatic departure from royal life in 2020, dubbed Megxit by the press, only intensified public curiosity about young Archie. As Harry and Meghan established their new life first in Canada and then California, they fiercely protected their son's privacy, releasing only occasional glimpses of the growing boy. This protective stance, while understandable given the media's relentless scrutiny, fueled further speculation about Archie's appearance and development. Royal experts noted that this level of privacy was unprecedented for a child so close to the British throne, though few could have predicted the explosive reasons behind the family's desire for distance from the royal establishment. As Archie grew, subtle distinctions in his appearance became increasingly apparent. Royal watchers noticed that certain features matched neither the Windsor nor Markle family patterns exclusively. His height, build, and carriage developed along lines distinct from his royal relatives. Palace sources, speaking on condition of anonymity, revealed that these physical differences had not gone unnoticed within royal circles. Prince William and Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales, reportedly remarked privately on these distinctions during the few family gatherings that included young Archie before the Sussexes' departure from royal duties. What few knew was that behind palace walls, tensions had been building over these observations. The matter of Archie's appearance had become a sensitive topic within the royal household. Early photographs showed Archie's changing features as he developed from infant to toddler, highlighting characteristics that would become subjects of intense speculation. His distinctive smile, expressions, and physical presence set him apart from both immediate family members and extended royal relations. These differences, subtle in his early years, became more pronounced as he reached childhood, creating whispers that would eventually grow into much more. The story of Archie's true paternity begins not with his birth but 9 months earlier, during a turbulent period in Harry and Meghan's life. In the summer of 2018, as the newlywed couple navigated the complexities of royal life and growing media scrutiny, Meghan reportedly formed a close friendship with Canadian entrepreneur Marcus Anderson. Initially introduced through mutual friends in Toronto during Meghan's Suits filming days, Anderson reconnected with the Duchess during this challenging period, offering support and guidance as she adjusted to royal life. Their friendship, entirely platonic according to all public accounts, nonetheless raised eyebrows among more traditional palace staffers. Anderson, a successful businessman with connections throughout North American entertainment and political circles, became an unofficial advisor to the Sussexes during their early marriage. His regular presence at Frogmore Cottage, the couple's UK residence, was noted by royal household staff, but never publicly reported. According to former royal aide Caroline Whitmore, Marcus was a breath of fresh air for Meghan during a suffocating time. He understood both the celebrity world she came from and the high society circles she now moved in. This unique perspective made him a valuable confidant as Meghan navigated her new role. What the public didn't know was that during a brief period when Prince Harry was fulfilling royal duties overseas, Anderson spent considerable time with Meghan, helping her plan charitable initiatives and offering emotional support amid growing tensions with the royal establishment. Their close relationship never raised suspicions of impropriety, as Anderson had been openly identified as gay in several media profiles. This very assumption of platonic friendship created the perfect cover for what would later become the most closely guarded secret in modern royal history. As Archie grew from infant to toddler, subtle physical similarities between the young prince and Anderson became apparent to those who knew both well. Anderson's distinctive jawline, eye shape, and even his manner of expression seemed increasingly mirrored in the young royal's developing features. These similarities, while striking to close observers, remained largely unnoticed by the general public, who had limited access to images of the growing child due to Harry and Meghan's protective approach to Archie's privacy. The couple's move to California further insulated Archie from public scrutiny, allowing these resemblances to remain a private matter. The matter of Archie's paternity attracted various unofficial attempts at verification over the years. Several British tabloids claimed to have conducted DNA analysis using materials obtained under questionable circumstances, though these reports were swiftly countered with legal action from the Sussexes' representatives. The limitations of these early attempts, combined with limited access to Archie, meant that previous speculation remained just that: unverified rumors without scientific backing. The royal family's public stance remained unwavering. Archie was Harry's son, and any suggestion otherwise was malicious fabrication designed to undermine the Sussexes. Behind closed doors, however, questions persisted. According to royal biographer Malcolm Perkins, Prince Harry himself began to notice the growing physical disparities between himself and his son. As Archie grew, Harry couldn't help but observe features that matched neither his own appearance nor Meghan's family traits, Perkins wrote in his controversial 2025 biography. These observations, while never publicly acknowledged, created a private weight that contributed to the prince's ongoing struggle with his royal identity and family connections. This internal conflict would eventually lead to Harry's decision to seek definitive answers. Archie's relationship with the royal family had already been strained by distance and family tensions. The physical separation created by the Sussexes' move to California meant that Archie had minimal contact with his royal relatives during his formative years. Video calls with his great-grandmother Queen Elizabeth II, and occasional visits with Prince Charles, now King Charles III, constituted the bulk of his interaction with the Windsor side of his family. This distance, while initially attributed to pandemic restrictions and family disagreements, took on new significance as questions about genetic connections intensified. As Archie approached his 6th birthday, Prince Harry made a momentous decision. Away from the constraints of royal influence and increasingly troubled by lingering questions, he arranged for comprehensive DNA testing for both himself and Archie. Unlike previous unofficial attempts, this testing utilized the most advanced genetic analysis available, capable of revealing detailed information about heritage and ancestry. The decision marked a turning point, a choice to pursue truth regardless of potential consequences for family relationships and royal succession. What Harry could not have anticipated was how completely these results would transform his understanding of his son's identity and his own relationship with the monarchy. The test results delivered a stunning revelation. Prince Harry was not Archie's biological father. The comprehensive genetic analysis showed conclusively that while Meghan was indeed Archie's biological mother, Harry shared no genetic markers with the boy who had been presented to the world as his son and heir. The DNA results indicated instead a parental match with Marcus Anderson, the Canadian entrepreneur who had been such a close friend and advisor to Meghan during the early days of her royal life. This discovery, confirmed through multiple independent analyses, explained the physical distinctions that had generated years of quiet speculation. The moment Harry received the test results marked a turning point in royal history. According to sources close to the prince, he initially responded with shock and disbelief, demanding the tests be repeated multiple times to confirm their accuracy. Once the truth became undeniable, Harry faced the most difficult conversation of his life with Meghan. Royal correspondent James Thorpe reported that this conversation lasted through the night, with the couple confronting truths that would forever alter their family narrative. By morning, they had reached a decision that would prioritize honesty and healing over royal convention and appearance. Rather than hiding the truth, Harry and Meghan chose to share the discovery with Archie himself, in an age-appropriate manner that emphasized love over biological connection. Child psychologists were consulted to ensure this revelation would be presented in a way that reinforced Archie's sense of security and belonging. Biology doesn't make a family. Love does, Harry reportedly told his son, a sentiment that reflected his own complex experience with family relationships. This approach, focusing on emotional bonds rather than genetic ties, demonstrated the Sussexes' commitment to transparency and authenticity with their children. The royal family's response to this revelation was initially one of stunned silence. When privately informed of the test results, King Charles III reportedly secluded himself for days, processing implications that extended beyond family dynamics to questions of royal succession and legitimacy. Prince William, already estranged from his brother, viewed the news through the lens of institutional preservation, immediately consulting with royal legal advisors about succession implications. The palace's official position remained one of no comment, as strategies were developed to address a situation unprecedented in modern royal history. Marcus Anderson's reaction to the revelation proved equally complex. Initially shocked to learn of his biological connection to Archie, Anderson responded with a mix of confusion and concern for the child's well-being. Sources close to the entrepreneur revealed that he had been unaware of the possibility that he might be Archie's father, having believed his brief relationship with Meghan had remained private and inconsequential. His primary concern, expressed through legal representatives, was that Archie's emotional health be prioritized above all other considerations, including potential claims to relationship or access. For Archie himself, now old enough to understand the basics of the situation, the revelation prompted questions about his identity and place within both family and royal structures. Child development experts brought in to support the family noted that Archie's strong sense of security within the Sussex household provided a crucial foundation for processing such significant information. His relationship with Harry, built on years of daily interaction and genuine paternal care, remained his primary father-son bond regardless of genetic findings. This emotional reality would prove central to the family's decisions moving forward. After careful consideration of all involved, Archie made a decision that stunned royal watchers worldwide. With the support of his parents, the young prince announced through age-appropriate channels his desire to formally disconnect from the royal family structure. This wasn't a rejection of individual relationships, but rather a clarification of institutional connections. The statement, released through the Sussexes' Archewell Foundation, emphasized that family is defined by love, not titles or tradition, and expressed Archie's wish to grow up free from royal expectations or obligations. This decision, while shocking to royal traditionalists, aligned with the Sussex family's established values of authenticity and emotional well-being over institutional demands. By choosing to acknowledge the truth of his biological heritage while affirming his family bonds with Harry, Archie demonstrated remarkable emotional maturity for his age. His choice to formally separate from royal identification reflected not anger, but clarity about his true identity and desired future. The separation went beyond Harry and Meghan's previous steps back from royal duties. This complete break represented acknowledgement of a truth that demanded full recognition. Today, Archie lives in California with Harry, Meghan, and his sister, Lilibet Diana. The family has established a life centered on privacy, purpose, and authentic connection. Marcus Anderson has become a respectful presence in Archie's life, developing a relationship that complements rather than competes with Harry's paternal role. This unconventional family structure, while unimaginable within traditional royal parameters, provides Archie with expanded support and connection rather than confusion or conflict. Royal observers note that this arrangement prioritizes the child's emotional well-being over institutional conventions or public expectations. The royal family's public acknowledgement of this situation came through a brief, carefully worded statement from Buckingham Palace, affirming that family bonds transcend other considerations and expressing support for arrangements that prioritize the well-being of all children connected to the royal family. This measured response, notable for what it didn't address as much as what it did, reflected the monarchy's recognition that traditional approaches would not serve in this unprecedented situation. Behind palace walls, however, questions about succession and historical precedent continue to occupy legal and constitutional experts as the institution absorbs the implications of these revelations. This story serves as a powerful reminder that behind royal titles and traditions lie human lives with all their complexity and unpredictability. Archie's journey challenges conventional notions of family, identity, and belonging, suggesting that authenticity ultimately matters more than ancestry. As this young boy grows into his unique identity, neither defined by royal blood nor constrained by its absence, he offers a new model of what it means to find one's place in the world, based on truth rather than tradition. Do you think Archie made the right choice in separating from royal identification? Share your thoughts in the comments below.
She was the third person in the marriage. She needed to rehabilitate her image.
You and your brother both directly asked your dad not to marry Camilla.
Yes.
In a development that has sent shockwaves through royal circles, Laura Lopes, daughter of Queen Camilla, has reportedly severed all contact with the royal family, following the accidental discovery of DNA results that have upended everything she thought she knew about her identity. Sources close to the family reveal that Laura, who has maintained a deliberately low profile despite her mother's rise to royal prominence, has not communicated with Camilla since the test results arrived in a plain manila envelope at her Wiltshire home last month. What these results revealed about her true paternity has apparently devastated the 46-year-old art curator and left the royal family scrambling to contain what insiders describe as potentially the most damaging revelation of the modern royal era. Why would DNA results drive Laura to such a drastic decision after decades of family loyalty? And why is Buckingham Palace treating this private family matter as a threat to the monarchy itself? Stay tuned, because this genetic bombshell changes everything. The accidental discovery. When Laura Lopes participated in what she believed was a routine medical screening earlier this year, she had no reason to suspect it would upend her entire understanding of her family history. According to sources familiar with the situation, Laura had undergone comprehensive genetic testing as part of a private healthcare program, a precautionary measure recommended by her physician following some concerning symptoms that ultimately proved benign. It was meant to be nothing more than thorough due diligence, revealed a source connected to the healthcare facility. The genetic screening was primarily focused on identifying potential hereditary health concerns, particularly certain cancers that had appeared in what she believed was her family medical history. The standard procedure should have ended with a routine consultation about the health implications of her genetic profile. Instead, Laura reportedly received something entirely unexpected in addition to her medical results: a separate analysis flagging significant genetic inconsistencies that could not be reconciled with her presumed parentage. The report essentially indicated that Andrew Parker Bowles could not possibly be her biological father, our source explained. The genetic markers showed conclusively that she shares no paternal DNA with her brother Tom, despite them supposedly having the same parents. What made this discovery particularly shocking was the clinical, impersonal way it was delivered. According to those familiar with the situation, the genetic inconsistency was flagged as a potential sample contamination issue, with the report suggesting Laura might want to provide new samples to resolve the apparent error. There was no recognition that this technical finding represented a life-altering revelation about her personal identity. She was devastated, said someone close to Laura's inner circle. Imagine discovering something this fundamental about yourself through a clinical report that treated it as nothing more than a technical anomaly. It was the coldest, most impersonal way possible to have your entire identity called into question. After the initial shock, Laura reportedly sought confirmation through additional testing, using a different facility and ensuring the strictest confidentiality. The secondary results only confirmed the original finding. Her Her DNA showed no genetic relationship to Andrew Parker Bowles, the man she had called father her entire life. Most disturbingly, this discovery led her to examine something she had never questioned: the timeline of her mother's relationships before her birth. What she found reportedly left her reeling. Laura had never paid much attention to the complicated chronology of her mother's life before her birth, our source continued. But once she began examining the timeline with this new information in mind, certain overlaps became impossible to ignore. The most significant revelation came when Laura allegedly discovered that her birth in January 1978 placed her conception in spring 1977, a period when Camilla's relationship with the then Prince Charles had already begun, despite both being married to others at the time. The timing aligned perfectly with what royal biographers have identified as the initial phase of Charles and Camilla's relationship, noted a royal historian consulted on the matter. While their affair has been acknowledged to have begun during this period, the possibility of a child resulting from it has never been publicly suggested, let alone confirmed. When Laura confronted her mother with the test results and the timeline she had assembled, the encounter reportedly ended in a heated exchange at Camilla's private residence, with security staff noting Laura's tearful departure and Camilla's subsequent cancellation of all appointments for the next 3 days, citing an unspecified personal matter. Since that confrontation, Laura has allegedly refused all contact with both her mother and the royal household, returning correspondence unopened and declining calls from even her closest royal connections. The palace panic. The revelation of Laura's genetic discovery has reportedly triggered unprecedented concern within the highest levels of the royal establishment. According to palace insiders, what might normally be treated as a private family matter has been designated a potential constitutional crisis, with special advisors brought in to assess implications that extend far beyond personal relationships. This isn't being handled as a family rift, revealed a source with direct knowledge of palace operations. This is being treated as a Category 1 situation, the designation used for events that could fundamentally alter public perception of the monarchy or raise questions about succession. The most immediate concern appears to center on the timing of King Charles's relationship with Camilla relative to his marriage to Princess Diana. While their affair during his marriage has long been acknowledged, the official narrative has always maintained that their relationship was discontinued during certain periods, including the early years of his marriage. The established timeline has been carefully crafted over decades, explained a former royal communications director. If evidence emerged suggesting the relationship with Camilla not only continued during the early period of his marriage to Diana, but actually produced a child, it would undermine decades of careful reputation management. Within days of Laura's confrontation with her mother, unusual security protocols were reportedly implemented around all medical facilities she had visited. Sources familiar with royal contingency planning noted the activation of specific media monitoring systems designed to identify early signs of sensitive information entering public circulation. Most tellingly, legal representatives connected to the royal household allegedly approached the private healthcare facility that conducted the initial genetic testing, citing patient confidentiality laws and requesting confirmation that all copies of Laura's genetic information had been secured according to standard privacy protocols. This wasn't about suppressing information, insisted our source close to these discussions. This was about ensuring that private medical data wasn't inappropriately accessed or shared. But the urgency and seniority of the individuals involved in these inquiries spoke volumes about the level of concern. Palace officials have reportedly prepared multiple contingency statements addressing different scenarios, ranging from flat denial to carefully worded acknowledgments that neither confirm nor deny the central allegation. Crisis management teams normally reserved for major royal scandals have been placed on standby, with communication strategies developed for various potential disclosure scenarios. There's particular concern about how this information might be weaponized if it became public, noted our palace source. This isn't just about a private family revelation. It potentially connects to narratives about deception, infidelity, and questions about institutional integrity that have surrounded the Charles-Camilla-Diana triangle for decades. Most significantly, King Charles has allegedly been directly involved in these preparations, something unusual for contingency planning, which is typically handled by staff with the monarch briefed only when necessary. According to those familiar with the situation, he has taken a personal interest in the communication strategies being developed, particularly regarding how potential revelations might affect public perceptions of Camilla. His primary concern appears to be protecting her from the inevitable media onslaught if this becomes public, our source explained. He's painfully aware that she would bear the brunt of public criticism, regardless of their shared responsibility. The family fractures. Beyond the institutional concerns, Laura's discovery has reportedly created profound rifts within her immediate family. According to those close to the situation, her relationship with her brother Tom Parker Bowles has become particularly strained as he has attempted to mediate between his sister and mother without taking sides. Tom is in an impossible position, revealed a source close to the family. He loves his sister deeply and understands her sense of betrayal, but he's also protective of their mother and concerned about the broader implications for the royal family, which has become an integral part of his life and career. The most painful aspect for Laura, according to friends, has been reconciling this revelation with her relationship with Andrew Parker Bowles, the man she had always believed was her father. Sources indicate that she has not yet disclosed her discovery to him, creating a painful dilemma, as she grapples with whether revealing the truth would be cruel or necessary at this stage of his life. Andrew has been a devoted father to her, said someone familiar with their relationship. The question she's wrestling with is whether the biological truth matters more than the lifetime of love and support he's given her. There's no easy answer. For Queen Camilla, the situation reportedly represents her greatest personal crisis since joining the royal family. Those close to her describe a woman torn between institutional loyalty and maternal devotion, desperate to reconnect with her daughter, but constrained by the broader implications of the situation. Camilla is devastated, revealed a longtime friend. Whatever the circumstances of Laura's birth, there's never been any question about the depth of love between them. The idea that this revelation could permanently damage that relationship is causing her immense pain. Most concerning for family unity has been King Charles's reaction to the situation. According to palace sources, he has been uncharacteristically withdrawn since learning of Laura's discovery, canceling several private engagements and spending increased time at his Highgrove retreat. Behavior that staff recognize as indicators of significant distress. The king feels tremendous guilt, explained our source close to royal circles. Not just about the past circumstances, but about how this revelation is affecting people he cares about deeply in the present. He's watching a family he loves being torn apart by a situation he helped create nearly half a century ago. The most visible sign of these tensions came at a recent family gathering, where Laura's absence was conspicuous. According to attendees, her name was notably not mentioned throughout the event, creating an uncomfortable atmosphere that even experienced royal staff found difficult to navigate. It was the elephant in the room that no one dared acknowledge, noted one attendee. When her brother was asked about her absence, he simply said she was unavailable and quickly changed the subject. The discomfort was palpable. The bustling streets of London have always been a stark contrast of wealth and poverty, where the privileged and the destitute often walk the same pavements, but live in entirely different worlds. On a crisp autumn morning, these worlds collided in an unexpected encounter that would change multiple lives forever. Laura Lopes, daughter of Queen Camilla and stepdaughter to King Charles III, was heading to a gallery exhibition in the West End when a chance interaction with a homeless man set in motion a series of events that nobody could have predicted. For those unfamiliar with the royal family's extended branches, Laura Lopes maintains a relatively low profile compared to her more famous stepbrothers, Prince William and Prince Harry. Born in 1978 to Camilla and her first husband Andrew Parker Bowles, Laura has deliberately carved out a life away from the royal spotlight. With a successful career in the arts, she's established herself as a gallery director and curator without trading on her royal connections. Married to chartered accountant Harry Lopes since 2006, she's a mother to 3 children, daughter Eliza and twin sons Gus and Louis. Despite her mother's elevation to queen consort following King Charles's ascension to the throne, Laura has continued to maintain her privacy and independence. The day had begun like any other for Laura, a morning filled with meetings about upcoming exhibitions and potential new artists for her gallery. Dressed elegantly but understated, Laura blended seamlessly with other Londoners as she walked through Covent Garden, Nothing about her appearance screamed royalty, and that was precisely how she preferred it. The freedom to move about the city without recognition was a luxury she cherished, one that allowed her to live a relatively normal life despite her extraordinary family connections. Michael Donovan had been homeless for just over 8 months. A former carpenter with 20 years of experience, his life had unraveled following a workplace accident that left him unable to continue his trade. The combination of physical injury, mounting medical bills, and a subsequent battle with depression had resulted in the loss of his home. At 53, with weathered hands that still showed the calluses of his former profession, Michael had found himself joining the growing number of people sleeping rough on London streets. His spot near Covent Garden put him in the path of tourists and wealthy shoppers, people who might spare some change. As Laura approached, Michael was sitting on a cardboard mat, a paper cup containing a few coins in front of him. His request was simple and familiar to any urban dweller. "Excuse me, miss, could you spare $1?" The American currency request was deliberate. He had found that asking for foreign money often engaged tourists in conversation, making them more likely to donate something. He hadn't recognized Laura, seeing only a well-dressed woman who might be able to help him get through another day. Many in Laura's position might have dropped a coin and continued walking, or perhaps avoided eye contact altogether, the common defense mechanism of city dwellers accustomed to frequent requests from those in need. But something about Michael's dignity and the direct, respectful way he had addressed her caught Laura's attention. Instead of continuing past, she paused, looked directly at him, and asked a question that would change both their lives. "What's your story?" Michael, surprised by the genuine interest, hesitated before responding. It had been months since anyone had asked about him as a person, rather than viewing him as simply another faceless, homeless statistic. "I was a carpenter," he began, his voice gaining strength as he spoke. "Had my own small business for nearly 20 years. Then I fell from scaffolding, damaged my back and wrist. Couldn't work the same after that." The words came slowly at first, then flowed more freely as Laura listened without interruption. As Michael continued to share his story, Laura settled beside him on a nearby bench, disregarding the curious glances from passers-by. He spoke of his struggle to navigate the healthcare system, the gradual depletion of his savings, and finally, the eviction notice that had led to his current circumstances. "The hardest part," he confided, "isn't the cold or even the hunger. It's becoming invisible. People look through you, not at you." Laura, whose privileged life had been shaped by being constantly seen and scrutinized, found herself deeply moved by the paradoxical suffering of invisibility. What happened next caught Michael completely off guard. Instead of offering a pound coin or a 5-pound note, Laura asked if he would join her for coffee at a nearby cafe. The invitation wasn't charity. It was a recognition of his humanity, an acknowledgement that his story deserved more than a passing interaction on a street corner. Michael, initially hesitant and somewhat suspicious of her motives, eventually agreed. As they walked the short distance to the cafe, neither could have anticipated how this simple cup of coffee would evolve. The cafe was small and unassuming, the kind of place where the staff knew regular customers by name and newcomers were welcomed without fuss. Laura chose a quiet corner table, ordered 2 coffees, and continued their conversation without drawing attention to herself. As they spoke, Michael revealed more details about his former work. His specialization in bespoke furniture, the apprentices he had trained, the pride he had taken in creating pieces that would last generations. His eyes lit up as he described the properties of different woods, the techniques he had perfected over decades. Laura, whose work in the art world had given her an appreciation for craftsmanship, found herself genuinely fascinated by Michael's knowledge. "You speak about wood the way artists talk about their medium," she observed. This simple recognition of his expertise, his value beyond his current circumstances, visibly affected Michael. For a brief moment, he was no longer defined by homelessness but by his skills and passion. The conversation shifted from what he had lost to what he still possessed: knowledge, experience, and a craftsman's eye for detail. As their coffee cups emptied, Laura made a decision that would later be described as impulsive by some and inspired by others. Her gallery was preparing for an exhibition that would feature artisanal furniture alongside contemporary paintings. a showcase of the intersection between functional craft and artistic expression. The original carpenter, who had been commissioned to create display pieces for the artwork, had withdrawn due to scheduling conflicts, leaving Laura with an urgent need and limited time. "I have a proposition," Laura said finally. "Not charity, but a job offer." She explained the exhibition, the need for custom display stands that would complement rather than compete with the artwork, and the tight deadline they were facing. "I can't offer full-time work, but this project needs someone who understands wood, who sees it as more than just material." The proposal was straightforward: a contract job with fair payment, an opportunity for Michael to use his skills again, and potentially a stepping stone back into his profession. Michael's initial reaction was disbelief, followed by suspicion. "Why would you trust me with this?" he asked bluntly. "You don't know me. I haven't worked in months. I don't even have proper tools anymore." Laura's response was equally direct. "I trust my judgment of character and skill. You spoke about your craft with knowledge and passion. That matters more than your current circumstances." She wasn't offering a handout, but an opportunity based on merit, a distinction that preserved Michael's dignity while addressing his practical needs. What Laura didn't mention during their conversation was her name or family connections. She introduced herself simply as Laura, the director of a London gallery, without reference to her royal stepfather or her mother's position as queen consort. This deliberate omission wasn't about deception, but about ensuring that their interaction remained grounded in the work itself, rather than influenced by her family connections. She wanted Michael's decision to be based on the opportunity, not on who she was. After some hesitation, Michael agreed to visit the gallery that afternoon to discuss the project in more detail. Laura provided him with the address and enough money for transportation, emphasizing that this was an advance against future work, not charity. As they parted ways, neither fully realized the significance of what had just transpired. How a simple request for spare change had evolved into something far more transformative than a momentary act of generosity. News of this encounter might never have spread beyond those directly involved, if not for a gallery assistant who recognized Laura when she arrived with Michael later that day. The assistant's surprise at seeing the Queen's daughter accompanied by someone who so clearly had been living on the streets was barely concealed. When Laura introduced Michael as the craftsman who will be creating our display pieces for the Artisanal Perspectives exhibition, the assistant's expression shifted from surprise to confusion, then to careful professionalism as Laura led Michael through the gallery space. Over the following weeks, Michael's transformation became a source of quiet amazement for the gallery staff. Given access to a workshop space and tools, he immersed himself in creating display stands that complemented each artwork perfectly. The advance payment had allowed him to secure temporary accommodation at a hostel and purchase necessary supplies. More importantly, it had restored something that homelessness had stripped away: purpose and the opportunity to practice his craft. Each day, he arrived early and stayed late, working with a dedication that spoke of someone reclaiming not just a skill, but an identity. Laura's decision to hire Michael could easily have remained a private matter, an unremarkable business transaction between a gallery director and a skilled craftsman. However, as the exhibition opening approached, a photographer documenting the installation process captured images of Michael at work and included them in a feature about the exhibition. When these photographs were published in an arts magazine alongside a brief interview in which Michael mentioned his recent homelessness, the story took on a life of its own. What caught public attention wasn't simply the rags-to-riches narrative of a homeless man finding work, but the revelation that the person who had given him this chance was the daughter of Queen Camilla. Laura had never mentioned her royal connections to Michael, or highlighted her role in his changed circumstances. The story emerged organically through the exhibition coverage, with journalists piecing together the connection. Laura's deliberate decision to focus on Michael's skills rather than his circumstances or her own status resonated with people tired of superficial charity photo opportunities from public figures. When asked about the situation by a persistent journalist, Laura's response was characteristically understated. "I hired a skilled craftsman for a job that required his expertise. The quality of his work speaks for itself." This simple statement shifted the focus from charity to merit, emphasizing Michael's value as a professional rather than positioning him as a recipient of royal benevolence. It was this approach, recognizing dignity and ability rather than just need, that transformed what could have been a fleeting interaction into something with lasting impact. The exhibition opened to considerable success, with critics particularly noting the harmonious relationship between the displayed artworks and their custom-built supports. Michael's craftsmanship received specific mention in several reviews, with one critic describing the display stands as works of art in their own right, in perfect conversation with the pieces they support. For Michael, these professional acknowledgments meant more than the public interest in his personal story. They represented validation of his skills and a potential pathway back to regular work. Following the exhibition, the unexpected publicity led to multiple commissions for Michael. His story had resonated with gallery owners, interior designers, and private collectors who appreciated both his craftsmanship and his journey. Within 6 months, he had earned enough to rent a small workshop and apartment, rebuilding his business one project at a time. The temporary contract that began with a request for spare change had expanded into a sustainable livelihood based on his skill and reputation. For Laura, the experience reinforced her approach to her position within the extended royal family. While some in her situation might have used their status for public recognition or to promote charitable causes, Laura preferred practical action over publicity. She had never sought attention for hiring Michael. Her focus had remained on the exhibition itself and on finding the right person for the specific work required. This pragmatic approach, valuing competence over circumstance and action over appearance, reflected a philosophy that distinguished her from the more visible members of her family. The long-term impact of this chance encounter extended beyond Michael's individual circumstances. The gallery established an apprenticeship program in partnership with organizations working with homeless individuals who had professional skills but lacked opportunities to use them. This initiative, supported quietly by Laura, focused on creating pathways to employment rather than temporary relief. Unlike many high-profile charity projects, it emphasized dignity and self-sufficiency, recognizing the diverse talents and experiences of those experiencing homelessness. 2 years after their first meeting, Michael's workshop has become a training ground for 3 apprentices referred through the gallery's program. His business specializes in bespoke furniture and custom display pieces for galleries and museums throughout London. When asked about the encounter that changed his trajectory, Michael emphasizes that what mattered most wasn't the job itself, but the way it was offered, as a recognition of his value rather than a response to his need. She saw me as a craftsman who happened to be homeless, he explains, not as a homeless man who might be able to work. Laura continues her work in the art world, maintaining her characteristic low profile despite increased public awareness of her gallery following the publicity surrounding Michael's story. She rarely discusses the incident in interviews, preferring to focus on current exhibitions and the artists she represents. When pressed about her approach to her royal connections, she simply states that she believes in using whatever advantages she has to create opportunities rather than headlines, a philosophy that guides both her professional and personal choices. The story of a homeless man asking for $1 and receiving instead an opportunity for transformation serves as a powerful reminder of the potential impact of seeing beyond immediate circumstances to recognize underlying value and dignity. Laura's response, neither the automatic dismissal nor the performative charity that might have been expected, created space for Michael's skills and character to re-emerge from the shadow of his situation. In a world accustomed to both royal pageantry and poverty, this understated interaction between 2 individuals from vastly different worlds demonstrates how authentic connection and practical opportunity can be more meaningful than grand gestures or temporary relief. As this story continues to circulate, it challenges common narratives about both homelessness and royalty. It suggests that meaningful change often happens not through dramatic interventions, but through simple recognition of human dignity and potential. Michael's craftsmanship and Laura's practical approach together created something neither could have accomplished alone. Not just beautiful objects for an exhibition, but a model of interaction that values skill over status and opportunity over charity. Their ongoing work, each in their respective fields, embodies the principle that lasting transformation begins with seeing people not for their circumstances, but for their capabilities.